Hi everyone, so this is episode 2 of my series, which is about holding on to people for the wrong reasons. And in episode 1 I talked about one of the reasons being that the person doesn't want to be with the person, but they don't want someone else to be with them either. So if you're watching for the first time, my name is Marianne. I'm the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, where I work with individuals and couples. My specialist areas are stress, relationship issues, depression and low self-esteem. So in this episode 2, what I want to talk about is the reason for holding on to someone for the wrong reason is because you don't feel like you'll find someone else. So this is a common reason, and it's related really to self-esteem, because if you're holding on to someone and the only reason you're not ending the relationship is because you don't feel you'll find someone else, then that's really because you don't have enough confidence within yourself as a person, and you don't have enough high level of self-esteem to know that that's not really a reason to stay in a relationship. So self-esteem is really important. It's absolutely essential when it comes to relationships, because if you have a secure attachment style, then you would know that you have enough to offer to people. You would know that you are there are lots of qualities about you as a person. You know, you would have a lot of self-love. You would know that you are deserving of a good relationship, and you would also be good at setting boundaries. So this is where attachment really comes into play, because if you have an anxious attachment style or you have an ambivalent attachment style, it means that often you're going to stay in relationships with people because you don't believe that you're going to get anyone else, because you want to hold on to that person, you know, because your attachment style is telling you that you won't get anyone else, because partly it's also to do with control and partly it's to do with fear. So holding on to the wrong person because you don't believe you'll meet anyone else is a mistake, because it means you're losing out on love and happiness. You're losing out because you're literally saying to yourself that you'd rather just be with this person because they're the best you're going to get, because you're not going to get anyone else, because it's not worth going out there and trying to see if there's anyone else that is a match for you. You'd rather just stay in this unhappy relationship and just say, well, this is it for me. And lots of people do this. All the things I'm going to be talking about this week are very common in lots of people's relationships, where they're holding on to people for dear life, and their just thoughts are that, you know, better the devil you know, I might as well stay with this person because, you know, I might go out there and find someone that's worse, or I don't think I have enough to offer, or whatever the reasons are. But it is just not a really good way of looking at things, or a good way of doing things, because you just end up losing out. So you have to think realistically. The world is full of billions of people. You know, we live on a planet where if you're going to restrict yourself by, I think some of the things maybe it's through TV, media or whatever it is, this belief that, you know, you have one soulmate, that you only have one person. You know, people will use terms like, this person is my universe, or this person is my world, or this person is my other half, and without you I wouldn't survive, and all these types of things. And I just think sometimes you have to think realistically. With all the people that are on the planet, the idea that there's only one person for you is, I don't know, I'm not going to use any negative words, but I just think I don't think it's realistic. You might find someone who completely you're compatible with and you totally fall in love with, but there is always the opportunity for that to happen again. And staying with someone because you think that you can't get anyone else is not a good idea, because you're missing out on the opportunity to be in a loving relationship and to find the person that is right for you. If things are not working, then they're not working. And sometimes it's about saying to yourself, you know, you only get one chance in this world, you only get one life, you know, isn't it best to just take some risks? And what I'm going to talk to you about is 3 things really to consider in this whole thing. The first thing is to consider where your belief is coming from. Why do you hold this belief that you won't find anyone else? You know, where do you get this sense of low self-esteem from? Is it because that's what you've been told as a child? Has it come from past relationships? Is it because you're going on social media and you're looking at other people and you're comparing yourself to others and you don't feel good enough? Is it because of other reasons. So try to figure out where the belief comes from. What's the reason you feel that way? The second thing is to consider what people closest to you would say. Would they tell you you're not good enough? Would your best friend tell you that you should stick with this person because you're not going to find anyone else, even though it's making you unhappy, even though this person isn't right for you? So have a think about what people closest to you would say. And if you feel brave enough, you could even talk to people closest to you about the dilemma you're facing. It is about being vulnerable. You may have to say, I don't want to be in this relationship, but I feel that I'm not going to get anyone else. So that's the only reason I'm staying. And maybe these people that love you and care about you will be able to give you the right advice and guidance. The third thing is to think about how you might feel 6 months from now when you look back on this relationship. Think about, in 6 months' time, are you going to look back and think, what a waste of 6 months. There was nothing in this relationship. I didn't like this person, but I've just stayed in it because, of fear. So if you can sort of visualise the next 6 months being with this person and think about how you're going to feel, then that's sort of a strategy that you can use, which might snap you out of this idea that you have to stay. The second part really is to think about what you really want right now, not what you want down the line, and also think about if you could have what you really wanted, what would you do? So this is a coaching strategy that sometimes we use. You might not know what you don't, you might know what you don't want, but sometimes we know what we do want. And if we do know, what would we do? What action would we take? So an example might be in this situation, you might say, right now I don't want to be with this person, but I feel like I can't be with anyone else. But if I thought that I could be with someone else, I would leave today. So you almost have to change your thinking then. Okay, if you know what you want, which is not to be in this relationship, then take the next steps to make that happen. So just be realistic. There's always someone else who will see the good things in you. It's not worth spending one unhappy moment in life, especially if it's intentional. If you're setting out to say that you are going to make yourself intentionally unhappy by remaining in a relationship that you know isn't right for you, then what's the point in doing that? Because you're not going to be able to go back and redo that time. You're not going to get the time back. That's the last thing I'll sort of leave this with, is that one of my biggest, I don't have things like regrets, but when I reflect, I always think the amount of time I've wasted in certain relationships, the amount of time I've wasted not doing the things I've wanted to do, the time I've wasted being in jobs that I didn't really enjoy, and it's just one of those things where you can't do anything about it because it's happened, but you can make a choice to say that you're not going to remain in a relationship that you don't want to be in. So thanks for watching. This is episode 2. What I'll try and do is probably link episode 1 in the description, or I'll kind of give you the title and you can watch that for yourself. Don't forget to share this video if you think it will benefit other people, and don't forget to like and leave your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.